On July 21st, 1992, Miguel Sonny Scott was born, and on October 27th, 2011, he vanished into thin air, or so it seems. Back in 2011, Miguel was just a 19-year-old Asian teen living in Bremerton, Washington. He stood at about 5'11" and weighed 116 pounds. His hair was black and cut low at the time. Miguel had hopeful brown eyes and normally wore eyeglasses. He had recently been in an accident that broke his jaw on the left side, so his jaw was wired shut and he was given opioid medications at the time of his disappearance. Due to the accident, he was left with surgical scars on the left side of his face and under his chin. That night, around 10 p.m. while out drinking with friends, he was last seen wearing a white sweater, blue jeans, sneakers, a black baseball cap, and a red cross was around his neck, and on his back, he was carrying a black backpack with pink squares. Scott never showed up for his next doctor's appointment and has never been heard from again. Although he has dropped out of sight for a few days at a time, he has never been gone for this long, and it's uncharacteristic of him to be out of touch with his loved ones. He normally used his Facebook account every day, but hasn't accessed it since October 26th, and he hasn't used his cellular phone since the evening of his disappearance. Scott had plans to join the Navy after he finished school. Because his disappearance is out of character, his family is concerned for his safety. His case remains unsolved. Miguel, like so many others, have vanished into thin air, or so they want us to think. What really happened to Miguel on the night of October 27th, 2011? I suspect foul play. Let's dig deeper. Okay, so what we're going to do is take a look at Miguel Scott's Facebook account. It hasn't been touched since he's been missing, but it has all of his old posts and pictures from when he was posting on his Facebook account. So what we're going to do is search for anything that seems shady, weird, anything that just stands out to us is what we're looking for. A comment here that caught my attention was from Carmen, and she said that he went through a gangster phase in 9th and 10th grade. It didn't catch my attention too much because we all go through phases in high school and middle school, so that's not a big red flag, but the fact that he went through a gangster phase is something to point out. He posted a status that said, "People are scandalous." I wonder what made him say that in April. I hope we don't see too many self-depreciating comments on here. How a person talks about themselves and to themselves, it means a lot. So I'm hoping we don't see too many of those. Something I noticed while doing a cross search on Miguel's profile was that he had a lot of friends he would mention, but in the cross search, he wasn't getting mentioned that much by other people, which is a worry for me. I wanted to come in here and say that I noticed that he put his cell phone number on Facebook. I wouldn't recommend putting any cell phone numbers on any social media. That's a red flag for me. Here in June, it looks like he isn't enjoying his summer so far. And while I was scrolling through the comments, it was just him going back and forth with his friends. But one comment stood out to me. It was a girl saying that he could come over to her house and they could just get faded. And from what I know, faded means getting high or stoned off of weed, or maybe drinking as well. So that stood out to me. That he's gotten sick and that he's looking for jobs. Looking for jobs is a good flag. That means that he had no plans of leaving anytime soon, which is what is so scary about this case. We're still in June, and it seems as though he's not really enjoying his life right now, and he's gotten a new cell with a new number and put that number online as well. I'm going to continue scrolling through Miguel's account. In this area specifically, there's nothing there. So I'm just going to talk to you guys about what I feel about this case. As of right now, my main concern is that Miguel's jaw is wired shut, or was wired shut at the time. So his teeth are basically clenched together. He can't chew. He can't move his mouth because it's wired shut. So how is he eating? That's my main concern. How is he eating? And if he's still alive, he had to have had the wiring removed. So what dentist did that? What doctor's office did you visit to get your jaw wiring removed that they did not inform law enforcement? Miguel's case is extremely frustrating. I've been working on it for a while now, and it's very sad. It's very sad. It's so annoying knowing that thousands of people go missing and people know what happened. They're just not saying what it is. People know. They don't want to say. They don't want to get in trouble. They've done something and they don't want to say, but the truth will come to the light. I'm really glad you guys are still here and sticking with me because we just found something really interesting. Miguel made a post saying, "How's everyone's summer going?" He got a pretty good amount of responses, but I noticed in the comments he was having a conversation with someone named Julia, who was having home troubles. It seemed as though Miguel could relate because he responded to her troubles by saying, "Oh, I feel you on that. It was hard for me to live with my mom and her boyfriend. It sucked." So it seems like there may have been some friction there in the home, which is probably why he wasn't living with them at the time of his disappearance. Throughout his Facebook, I've seen a lot of gay this, gay that, fag this, fag that. And I think that they're just using that as a joke. I don't think that he's actually homosexual or has friends that are homosexual. I think that they use that as some sort of joke because of how consistent it is on his account. It's not. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's more than a joke? Please feel free to chime in. Okay, so here he says, "I fucking hate when people put my fucking shit on blast." I wonder what he's talking about. Someone responded and said, "Don't do stuff to get blasted." Someone else responded and said he can't help it, he's Miguel. A person named Danielle responded and said, "Thought you were in jail." Thought you were in jail? Why would he be in jail? Tim said, "If you need a place to escape for a while, you can come stay with us and get a job where he's working. They don't look at your background or do drug tests. It's just dishwashing. But hey, leaving Monday, let me know." So this is just a couple of months before his disappearance. I'll put a flag on that. I will definitely put a flag on that. Okay, here in September, he says that he's ready to start school, so that's great. Says that he starts on the 20th of September, so that's pretty good that he's talking about school on his Facebook account. That means that he probably wasn't planning on running away anytime soon if he's talking about going back to school. We're coming up really close to his last post. We are in September now, so things are coming to an end for him on Facebook. The post that I'm seeing right now, nothing's alerting me. It looks like he's been spending some time with a certain friend. One of his friends said he looks different with his low haircut. I agree with that from the pictures that I've seen. It looks like he was having a pretty good time up until, it looks like he's an insomniac sometimes from him saying he can't sleep. So he missed the first day of school. That's interesting. So he was really excited about starting school, and he comes to miss the first day? Okay. That is interesting. He wanted to go to school, but he was hungover. Now that's a red flag. Why is he drinking at such a young age? That's a huge red flag. Why is he drinking? Yes, I know teens drink, but he shouldn't be drinking. Period. Okay, so he's active enough to be going to raves. If you're going to a rave, then you're a partier if you're at a rave. So that's interesting to know that he's going to raves. Okay, so I'm assuming around this time is when he broke his jaw, if he's talking about being on medication. Not sure what's going on here and that. But these are the last people that have seen him leading up to his last, seen and talked to him, leading up to his last post. So this is very important, what we're seeing here. Playing video games, the homosexual stuff again. And the very last post, made Dylan's bum ass fried chicken. That last post doesn't leave us with much to go on. So what happened to Miguel Sonny Scott? He's still missing, but he doesn't have to be. Take a good look at Miguel. Have you ever seen him? Know someone who has? Do you have any information on this case? His name mentioned in passing? Or you saw that facial scar I mentioned earlier? Any clue can help. Please check the description below to find out how you can help find Miguel Sonny Scott. And subscribe to Vanishing Acts to join the We Must Find Them movement. Thanks for watching.